But the question is, do you think it's even a possibility that the Lions could win on Thursday?
I'd say there's a 15% chance they can win.
15%. How'd you come up with that number?
I don't know.
I love it when people throw out numbers like that.
No idea.
Yeah. I'm actually a little more positive. I think it's 17%.
Okay, because I was not going to say there's no chance. I did that once before.
Go ahead.
No.
Reverse jinx.
No?
25%.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
First off, any given Sunday is 12.5%.
Right.
The other 12.5% is, okay, I feel like the Seattle game was an example of I'm not quite sure an offense can do any better in a game against the Lions than that. And they were still kind of close to winning that game. Play a clean game and beat them in a shootout. That's how you win the game.
Yeah.
No turnovers.
Right.
Or win the turnover battle. You can literally not let them punt like that. That's why I would throw the Okudah thing out the window.
Really?
Because Jeff Okudah was on the field in the Seattle game, and in my mind, even though he did matter in terms of coverage, it still didn't matter because an offense can't do any better than that in a game.
True, but
that's kind of, you see my point?
But their defense has completely changed since then. Look, it's not great. They still give up a lot of yards.
So I think I just said the Bills can't score 56. They can just get to 48.
48, yes. Yeah.
Look, there have been so many Thanksgiving games where I've been to in person where whether it was Michael Vick, Peyton Manning, whoever, just put on just such a show that, it wouldn't stun me if Buffalo did score over 40.
Right, and that's why I said I think the only realistic way is to beat them in a shootout.
Yeah, you're going to have the offense that the Lions had in the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
I mean, I could see a scenario where maybe Jared Goff's eating the turkey legs in the postgame, where he plays his best game of the season turnover-free. Jacoby Brissett lit them up last week.
Well, they were dealing with things, Gov. Their defense had
dealing with things.
They were dealing with snow.
Yes, well, and that snow is still there, and I'm sure that there's still challenges that they're facing back in Buffalo, but they are going to have to win in a shootout. I don't think anybody believes that, even though the defense played well against Saquon Barkley, we just heard from Dan Campbell, Josh Allen is a completely different animal.
Correct.
And when they have the quarterback sweeps, you've got that extra blocker out in front. And then just trying to bring him down in and of itself is not an easy thing to do.
So they've got the two receiver tight end thing that I think really caused the Lions issue. Josh Allen's the best quarterback that they've played. Again, though, I just go back to I'm not quite sure you can be any more efficient than the Seattle Seahawks were.
No.
That's why I say you've got to win a crazy shootout.
See, I just
red zone D.
Right. I think what they need to do.
Josh Allen has thrown 4 interceptions in the red zone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Joseph.
They also need to. I think the Lions offensively need to take a little bit. Believe it or not, I'm going to say this out of Michigan's handbook and try to
control the tempo of the game.
Use the clock and run the ball. And their best defense is keeping Josh Allen off the field.
I think DeAndre Swift has to bust a play in this game. I do. I mean, he did in those shootouts that they lost at home earlier this year.
One of his 5 opportunities.
It's going to take a pretty flawless game. Penalties need to be low. I have a concern that this might be James Cook's coming out party.
Oh, they're running back.
He's getting a little more action each week. Receiving threat.
Well, you could also, from Buffalo's perspective, too, Josh Allen's a little beat up or dinged up in terms of his elbow. They could vary a little bit from their game plan and, like you said, try and give their running back more of those touches than Josh Allen.
Because before Sunday, the Lions' defense led the league in rushing yards allowed.
Correct.
Now, granted, the New York Giants' offensive line was really banged up, and guys like Hutch and McNeil, they played great, but they had the fortune of playing against guys like Shane Lemieux who hadn't played in 2 years.